if every man wants a modest woman, a woman that doesn't twerk around, that doesn't drink, that doesn't party, that stays home, that cleans for them, and
Cooks.
that worships them. And if you show yourself as a party girl, no man will want you. Maybe for one night stand, but that's not wifey material. And I promise you, you wanna be wifey material. And we can all have a past, and you can go through there, and you can build yourself to be wifey material. That's how you're gonna find the happiness when you're a wife and when you're raising your sons and they are proud of you and not ashamed. And I'm sure with these bikini pictures, they are gonna be ashamed. I honestly believe as a woman, there's nothing more satisfying than giving pleasure to your man.
Of course.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
So
agree
here's
with
the-
you.
I said it again a little slower.
One more time.
Yeah. And look right into the camera, okay?
Over here.
Where's the camera? As a woman, I believe there's nothing more satisfying than giving pleasure to your man.
Ooh la la.
Just your friendly reminder that if he's not literally obsessed with you, remove him from the rotation.
Wow.
Do you guys know what a passport bro is?
I have no idea.
It's basically guys going to other countries to find women that are more feminine and submissive and more traditional, more attractive.
I have pretty high self-confidence and I don't care what other people think, so a 10. I'm a 10.
10. I feel like a 10.
I'm a 10 and everybody's a 10 if they feel like they're a 10.
I think I'm a 10. My girlfriend thinks I'm a 10. I'm a 10.
At the moment, I'm a 11.
I look in the mirror and I'd be like,
Being entitled is blaming your lack of relationship success on an entire nation of
I
women.
was very successful in England, very, very successful. But I noticed that every time I saw a beautiful woman and went to talk to her, where are you from? Oh, Sweden. Oh, Russia.
There's
oh,
no
the
beautiful
Ukraine.
women in the
No,
UK.
there are,
I
for
think
sure.
that's racist.
A lot of them are foreign in London, and it's just comparatively, there are way more in Russia.
Do you think there were any other reasons why you weren't particularly successful with British women when you were
I was
looking
very
for
successful,
dates here?
like I said.
But you've just said that most of the women that you were attracted to were foreign. So, you know, telling women that you're potentially going to date that they're entitled, overweight and moan all
I
the
wasn't
time
telling them that
may
at the time, obviously.
may not be the most successful chat-up line.
It's not one I would recommend. This is like a process of my experience. I was in the UK until 2009. Then I travelled a lot. I've been to 60 countries. You know, I went to Brazil. They're very nice. I went to Scandinavia. Denmark's got very beautiful women. But when I went to Russia, I found the whole package.
You're just peddling like a really dangerous, like stereotypical view of beauty that is just so damaging for women and men.
Complain to Victoria's Secret.
Human aesthetic judgment is a complicated mixture of genetic, cultural, and objective factors. But there are stereotypical beauty markers, such as health, fertility, and symmetry, to name a few.
Deal with it, you babies.
The maxim, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, is largely incorrect. Wishful thinking doesn't change things in the real world. What we're seeing here is a modern woman who doesn't appreciate it when men have preferences that might exclude her from consideration. Of course, some people will prefer the unfiltered look, but to suggest that a stereotypical view of beauty is damaging is an attempt to rationalize a way of view she doesn't like.
We're toppling the patriarchy.
There's no point in bothering some people with facts because they've already made up their mind.
Well, Richard, we have 3 English women here. Are they all fat, entitled, stupid? I mean...
What?
And here we see a clueless interviewer who's lacking in intellectual integrity, attempting to act as the white knight of righteousness.
What a loser.
He's constructed a straw man argument, because at no point did the interviewee apply his views to all English women, or ever use the words fat or stupid. Men like this are unfortunately one of the many tentacles that make up the Matrix.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Who are the men that you're helping who currently, these hugely attractive men who are highly intelligent and want to have successful, committed relationships? How come these incredible men are not finding women here in the UK?
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
If he owns the bus?
Nonsense.
That's a problem. The standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society.
This is another example of lady inflation.
I think I'm still relatively young, I guess, but I'm 40.
You're suggesting that there's a cheat's way to being confident and right with yourself, and that cheat's way is to just move abroad.
Shut up!
So men exploring their options and moving abroad to find desirable women who are more likely to appreciate them is now cheating the system. Maybe some men have decided that Western modern women are not worth the investment. They've decided to cut their losses so that they can come out on top in another country. Does the effort of pursuing a Western modern woman outweigh the reward? No! Because often, a cost-benefit analysis will determine that they represent too much risk and yield too low a return.
Why do you think so many men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries?
Men are traveling overseas to find wives. Why? I'm right here. I'm single.
No,
Why? I want to be married.
But I'm saying, do you typically see women traveling overseas
If
to find
men are
husbands?
traveling overseas to countries that have less money and less education, it's because they want a woman who is dependent on them for their livelihood, for their resources, to have a good life. And I don't think that that is a good thing.
Accountability is a modern woman's kryptonite, logic is her arch nemesis, and deflection is her ultimate defense. It's not because men want a woman who's dependent on them for their livelihood or their resources. It's because marriage in the West is a raw deal that poses a significant risk to the man's future.
Smart men don't get married.
It's essentially a permit of ownership of the man by the wife.
Facts.
Western society is gynocentric in the ways that government will make a special effort to accommodate women even at the expense of men. Marriage should not feel like a pact with the devil.
Yeah, that sounds good. What do you think the reason that men are not satisfied with the women in this country and they're looking elsewhere outside?
Men
to
aren't
other countries?
satisfied with the women in this country?
Not really. No.
It's not really an outlier. In America, the 2020 national marriage rate fell to 5.1 for every 1,000 people. Its lowest level in over 120 years.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
American modern women are prioritizing careers, travel, and leisure activities over building families. When this is combined with women's ever-increasing, unrealistic standards for what they look for in a man, it's no surprise that men are looking abroad. How else is the average man supposed to start a family?
Maybe it's not the majority of men, but it's starting to become a movement.
Well, you. Go away. Go find your women wherever you want if you're not satisfied. I don't know what to tell you. If you want a woman who barely even speaks English and just has to suck your go for it.
Men that travel abroad simply want a wife who will positively contribute to his life. And the view that women from other countries cannot speak English is obtuse, foolishly arrogant, and devoid of introspection.
A lot of the men I know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
This provides a good example of why passport brothers exist. Many modern women feel like they're entitled to make blanket generalizations, which are offensively directed at men.
Pathetic.
Terms, like creep and pervy, are regularly thrown around, by way of saying they find an average man doing something they dislike to be unattractive, strange and unpleasant.
God, you're sick.
Nobody bats an eyelid at openly sexist language, like mansplaining, but there'd be outrage if women were told to stop she-nagging. When the nuclear family was the norm, and women weren't financially incentivized to raise a child alone, the chance of a boy having a gainful bond with his father was greater.
You're goddamn right.
And why would a father not suggest that his son at least consider going to another country to find a wife, given the lack of good options in the West? Look at this clip with modern women revealing their body counts.
Freaky, diggy business.
Probably like 300 something.
She's the village bicycle.
Mine's at like 50.
50? Okay.
Yeah. I'm also at 50.
50. Kiko, body count?
Men and women, or?
Modern women with impulse control issues don't even know how to be desirable to men in the long term.
Everyone's had a ride.
If the maxim, a woman's body count, is inversely proportional to her ability to commit, is true, how do we get these women off the streets and back into the home?
Exactly. It's impossible.
Hyperpromiscuity has become normalized, and few men want a woman who's been ran through more times than a yellow light.
That's nasty.
Building your house on sand has never been a good idea.
Do you qualify for High Value Guy? You said yes. Now I'm asking you, what factors make you qualify?
That I make my own money.
Okay.
I have my own stuff.
Okay.
So high value for me would be like beyond my level kind of thing, and have my same values, because if not, it's never going to work.
And what are those values?
I don't know, just like agree with me.
We're all shocked. She's correct about partners needing the same values, or it'll never work. But demanding that a man just agree with her isn't a value. It's more an indication of someone with a high conflict personality, who's self-absorbed, and likely to exhibit controlling behavior.
Do exactly as I say.
Controlling behavior can also be a symptom of several personality conditions, such as histrionic, borderline, and narcissistic personality disorder.
Facts.
This is something all men should be aware of, because a relationship with this type of individual is often more challenging than most.
Yes.
Do you think a successful guy that has his stuff together cares about you having money yourself?
No. No, actually, and
So why would you list that out as a quality?
Some of the qualities that make a woman desirable would be things like integrity, cooperativeness, humility, and selflessness. These would be the antithesis of the requirement that a man just agree with her.
Oh my god.
The things that you're supposed to perform on being a lady, being a good, dutiful girlfriend, you said that you could do it, but you're not gonna always do it.
Always do what?
Holy
This is one of the biggest drawbacks to dating modern women. The practice of conditional or selective femininity.
So uncivilized.
Women like this will hold their femininity hostage and only release it if the man acts accordingly.
Subvert the patriarchy.
Femininity has become a luxury in the West and is scarce in supply. It's rarer than titanium, gold, and diamonds. It's well known that if you want to make a modern woman angry, you tell her the truth, which often involves an element of shaming.
Shame.
And I can't do that alone. We need help from men.
What can the average man do when women have no interest in them? This might be a particular bell that can't be unrung.
An average attractive male on Tinder gets swiped less than 1% of the time, and there's 3 men on Tinder for every 1 woman. So you've distilled it, you've taken out one of the key components of mating dynamics, and that is vibe, humor, body language, pheromones, the ability to be, quite frankly, a little bit persistent in the pursuit of a romantic relationship.
Bingo. It's also impossible to communicate confidence online, which can be a man's greatest asset.
Bummer.
And women have so many options with online dating, it allows for the undesirable to become picky.
Am I living in a f***ing nightmare right now?
This inflated sense of sexual market value is neither good for men, nor women, nor society as a whole, because people will stop having children.
We have no third places anymore, no places to meet. People aren't going to bars, they aren't sports league, they aren't going to church, they aren't even going to work. So it gets distilled down to very 1 or 2 dimensional attributes. And the reality is women are much choosier than men, and they can apply those screens, and they allocate all of their attention to a small number of men.
This is before we even mention that there are a lot of fake profiles, gold diggers, and sugar babies on dating apps.
Stop wasting my time.
It's like fishing in the sewer. And besides, the apps are designed to be useless.
Yes.
They make their money through advertising and charging hopeful romantics for premium features.
What a ripoff!
It's in their best interest for daters to wade through a wasteland of endless swiping, only to be rewarded with no matches.
How many of us have said, I know a ton of great single women, they can't find a date? That's not true. They can't find a date, they can't find a man they find economically or emotionally viable.
He's out of line, but he's right.
This comes back to lady inflation. Modern women overvaluing themselves in the dating market.
I'm a 10 and everybody's a 10 if they feel like they're a 10.
Here's a pertinent question for the ladies that are holding out for an economically attractive man. Do you look like the equivalent of the money he makes?
Oh my God.
The practice of open hypergamy like this has been summarized as the high heels effect. In the last 40 years, more women have graduated from college than men, and they're not interested in mating with non-college graduates. If this continues, what will society look like when blue-collar men fully embrace going abroad to find wives?
$37,000 is what the median income for a male in this country is. You'd be happily married to him and submit to him for a lifetime?
If he's married to me, that's going to change, so.
No. I said if he's just an average man. See, y'all all think you have the power of Thanos to make be not what it is. I said if a man was just an average earning man. See, the fact that you can't even...
It's the pause that tells you everything. Women don't settle. They wait at the finish line for winners. And unfortunately, women that do that never get the loyalty that they always crave from men. The smart women go right before the finish line and pick winners that are on their way, and they'll get some semblance of loyalty. But for the rest that wait for winners only, enjoy the life of getting passed around. That's your fate.
So do you think Filipinos are gold diggers?
No, I don't. I think most of the Filipino people are real honest, nice people.
Really?
I'm the right guy to interview because I've had good luck here.
Okay.
I've been here 9 years and I've never been robbed. I've never been accosted.
You never been robbed?
I have never been robbed.
But you've been ambushed.
Never been ambushed.
You've been ambushed today.
Yes.
How many Filipino girlfriends did you have?
Many.
Many?
Many.
Are you in a relationship?
Just got out of a relationship. The problem is she was a really nice girl and all she cared about was taking care of me, and I don't need somebody that does that.
Oh.
All she was worried about all the time is how I am and what I'm doing.
Like,
I
have you
need-
eaten?
Oh, and everything I do, oh, let me do that for you. No, I can't deal with that.
So you want someone more independent?
50-50. Yeah.
50-50, an equal partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they get a foreigner, they want to take care of him
Mhm.
and they want to prove to him that, hey, I'm a good woman, you can marry me or whatever.
So do you think Filipinos are marriage material, although you don't want to get married?
Yeah, they are. The
Yeah?
girls are real good here. Yeah, they are.
You mentioned men should be gentlemen. Where are the ladies?
We're right here.
You just said you're an escort. I mean, like, you're not a lady.
Excuse me?
You're a female, but you're not a lady.
Men are waking up and realizing the American woman mindset is altered, skewed. It's bad for business. It's bad for marriage. It's bad for life. Why is that? Because the modern day woman is very masculine. Society and the feminists have skewed and altered the matrix into having women believe get a good education and a good job and you don't need a man. So what's happening now, men are getting passports and going overseas to find a woman, and American women are upset and sideways about it.
Passport bros, you guys ready for another success story? The house is spotless. She cooks every day, and I've just taught her the only thing she needs to know in English. Oh, thank you, honey. Say something.
Yes, Daddy.
See?
I only want you for the money and the clothes and for the bills. That's it. If you ain't getting my hair done, if you ain't getting my nails done, if you ain't doing nothing for me, then I don't need you here. It's not 50-50. It's not 80-20. It's 100% to 0.
Passport bros, they're writing news articles about us now. The tides are turning. Apparently TikTok is divided. We need someone to settle this argument once and for all. I asked AI and it turns out ChatGPT is a passport bro. You guys are gonna lose it over this. Look, I'm an American man looking to date abroad using all statistical data. We're gonna score countries on beauty, fitness, friendliness, loyalty, and cost of living / dating. First, we got Brazil, then Colombia, third is Ukraine, fourth Russia, fifth the Philippines. Coming in behind them, Thailand, Spain, Italy, Sweden, Poland. We're gonna have to expand this list. To be honest, it's all preference. If you like the way Colombian or Filipino women look, or maybe you vibe with the fact that they're traditional and family oriented, you should go out there.
Attention to the passport bros, like they're getting women from like the Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education.
I married a Japanese woman. She's absolutely awesome. Let me tell you a little story. For around 10 years, I was dating around in the West. A number of terrible relationships full of testing, talking, downright emotional abuse, really. My heart completely shut. I just couldn't open up to anyone anymore. Then I went to Japan, and within 3 months, I met my wife. She was just so caring, so supportive. She genuinely wished for me to feel happy. She was the one who finally managed to unlock my heart. I fell for her. I don't wonder at all why #passport bros exist.
Sometimes you just need to venture out and find love somewhere else, and that's exactly what he did.
These are my thoughts on the passport bro situation. Me as a foreign man myself that have been to many different countries, I noticed the difference how foreign women treat their men compared to how American women treat them.
I'm an alpha female, and I tell people right up front, I'm an alpha female.
No. Just no.
Me, ladies, if you are complaining about passport bros, you selfish, entitled, you a hypocrite, and you just mad. That's it. You just bitter, baby. Do something with that. Listen, first off, you didn't like these dudes before they left. That's why they left. They was trying to get with you, and you had all these masculine traits, so they went somewhere else.
Okay, in my opinion about this passport bros issue, actually, there's nothing to argue about it because we decide who are we going to marry. However, it is not our fault if your man came across to Asian countries to find women and wife them up. You can call Asian women as uneducated, speak a little English. We don't really care because if you happen to come and visit the Philippines, you can definitely prove yourselves that you were wrong.
This lady is speaking straight facts. The men are just trying to find some love in other countries.
American guys are going across the country to find Filipina slaves. Girl!
What did I do today? You cooked dinner. You went to the grocery stores before and got all the groceries to cook dinner. and you cleaned up the whole room, and put all my clothes away without me asking for it.
And do I feel like I'm a slave? No. Because what did you do today?
What I do? I bought Starbucks. I took out the trash when I saw you struggling with it. You were going to try to take it out yourself. And, well, I got your nails done the other day.
So it's not a game of who does more for who. It's about thinking what the other person needs and doing it without them having to ask for it. And even if I do just the little things for him, he's always so surprised and appreciative. Which makes me wonder what's going on over there in America. And mind you, we're not taking them away from you. They're coming to find us.
I'm starting to resonate with this dude's message. The longer I live in this country, the longer I deal with misandry, the longer I see social media, the less hope I have for women in this country, bro. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how handsome you are. It doesn't matter how tall you are. A lot of these women here seem like they want to have a problem with men. So, don't deal with them.
Like,
yeah,
when you're
like,
like, you know, there's submissive 100%.
Like other places, the girls are better, but the thing is
friendly, they smile.
Where have you been where your have been real top tier? Where have you been?
When I went to Romania, that opened my eyes.
Like, okay, what are those women like?
Well, for one, they're not loud. They're not obnoxious. They don't interrupt. They don't interject. They just have more feminine. They'll like without you asking, they'll like clean the place up.
They have
you
less,
know what I mean?
less bodies, and like let's say for example they're dating one person, they don't go to the next person. Okay, let me see what he's like. Or he's like.
They embrace their femininity.
Yeah, they one person at a time.
They take great care in appearing a certain way. You know, making sure that their appearances are up to par. When they're another big thing I notice is if like you bring them in public, they don't talk when you're with other guys. They'll be quiet. They don't really speak unless they're spoken to because they don't want to embarrass you. So just like little things like that like American girls really like don't do.